everybody? It's Trainer Jack here, and today we're going to be talking about some different and interesting exercises that you can do with resistance bands. Whether you're at home or in the gym, usually I feel like if you've got a membership to one of the big box gyms like LA Fitness, 24 Hour Fitness, anywhere that's got a ton of space, probably has a ton of people at it depending on what city you live in or what time you're going to work out. But most of them have resistance bands. So if you find that a machine that you have isn't open, there's alternatives that you can just grab a resistance band, pick it up, go, and get the same muscle group workouts from there. So just to cover a couple of upper body exercises with resistance bands, I'll start with one of my favorites for chest, or a couple of my favorites for chest, rather. So what you'll need is an anchor for this, and most resistance bands will have a doorway anchor that you can either clasp in the doorway, or you can even wrap it or tie it around a door handle. Just make sure it's fastened securely. Or I've got a bar right here that I just looped it over. So you can just bring the band around the bar, walk out, make sure your resistance is even in each hand. Walk out, you're just gonna do like a normal standing chest press right here. Make sure you bring your hands all the way back to the chest, pushing your elbows all the way out and back in. So that's your chest press. You can also do chest flies with this too. So fists out in the front, slight bend to the elbows. Bring the resistance bands back and forward. Letting the hands come out to the side just like this. So there's couple great chest exercises. Whether you're doing dumbbell flies, cable flies, if you're doing flies with kettlebells or on various machines, you can use this instead. This is actually going to work a lot more of your stabilization muscles in your chest than you would get on a machine fly per se, unless you're doing free cables, which is the closest thing that you're going to get to resistance bands. So we've got our chest exercise for back. I love to do rows, which I just lean back into a little bit, make sure my shoulders are locked by my side, just pull through the elbows and get the band straps that I'm holding onto back to my chest, release and pull back. Another one that you can do with the bands as well is one of my favorite exercises. I have, this is great for shoulder injuries depending on what you have. I have a small tear in my labrum in my rotator cuff, is rear delt flies, which I was prescribed by my physical therapist to do. So you can just, the opposite or the antagonist, I guess, direction of what you would be doing for a chest fly. You're just doing a back fly right here, pushing your fist to the outside and bringing it back in just like that. You can also do different variations of extensions. You can do a single arm tricep extension. If you loop the band through like this, you just tie it around, step back from the pole, just lean back, tricep extensions, one side. If you want to make it a compound workout, I always like to make things a little more of a cardiovascular exercise if I can. So I just do both at the same time, standing back, pushing back from the elbows, fist back to my hips. You can also do curls this way, which I'll stand on the resistance bands for. So if you want to adjust the resistance of this, you can put one foot under to start with, and it all depends on how much resistance, how many pounds of resistance that you've got in the band, really. Or you can step both feet on for a little more resistance, and then the wider that you have your stance, the more resistance that you're going to feel in the bands when you raise them up. So just make sure keeping your elbows locked at your sides, your fists as close as you can to your shoulders. That's going to maximize using those bicep muscles. There are also a few different leg exercises that I like doing. So now we'll cover lower body exercises as far as using the resistance bands. There's a lot of different ties that you can use as far as around your ankles and stuff, but if you're not looking to get too complicated and you just want to stick to squats, deadlifts, and lunges, those are perfectly fine too. So what I usually do for a squat is I'll get a pretty good medium stance on the resistance band, feet about shoulder width apart. I'll raise the bands up so that they're coming just right behind my elbows. So this is where we're going to get our weight from. We're just going to squat down, come back up. Make sure you're keeping your weight in your heels. And coming straight up to the top, pressing the hips forward at the top. So there's your squat. Here's what it looks like from the front. And then too, if you want to make this a little more difficult, or you want to make it a compound workout, you can always add in things like a shoulder press at the top, or you could squat. Once you get to the top, curl, and then back down. I love throwing these in circuits for my classes, or if I'm working out, I'm on vacation or on the road, I'll throw in my resistance bands, throw those kind of exercises in there. You can also do different kinds of lunges the same way. So we just lock the resistance band up in the same position behind our elbows. Plant it under one foot, so I'll step my right foot back. Just do a resisted lunge right here. You can also do the press at the top. And then curls too, if you want to make it a compound exercise. And just repeat on the other side. You've got your lunges. Another one, I feel like this is a little more unconventional, but deadlift used to be one of my favorite lifts. I think it's a really effective, really efficient lift for a lot of reasons, since you do have to bend over and pick up stuff, whether it's groceries or, depending on what your work field is. If you're in the medical field, you might have to pick somebody up to put them on a gurney, or, even if you've got to pick up a filing cabinet or help your friends move furniture, this is a really effective one for that. So what I'll do is I'll just take the resistance band, stretch it out over the ground like this, and I'll stand on either end, once again adjusting the resistance by how tight you want, or how tight you make the band with your stance. And what you'll do is you'll reach down, you'll grab the center of the band, you'll put your hips back, weight and heels down, and back up. And this is great for your glutes and your hamstrings, just as low as you can go to the ground, and then back up. And here I'll give you a front view on that. This is a band deadlift. This one's really great. You can also integrate other exercises into this as well to make it a compound lift. This is what it looks like from the front. You can also get a shoulder raise up in there or a shrug. So just shrug it up to the ears. Like I said, if you want to do a shoulder raise, you just lessen the resistance. So it'll be a little easier to do the deadlift, but down, up, and just put an upright row in there as well. So anyways, this has been some different upper body and lower body exercises that we've covered in using resistance bands, some combinations and working isolation groups too, like the triceps and the biceps, throwing that in with your leg work. And I hope you really enjoyed the video. I hope you got a lot out of this. Some people think that resistance bands are crazy or a little corny to use. Honestly, I put people through resistance band circuits every week in fitness classes and personal training sessions, and this will get the job done. It'll make you sore. It'll get you the toning, the growth, whatever you need out of them, depending on how you're training and how you're eating, of course. I hope you enjoyed this video. Signing off. Catch you later.